God, it's so cozy.
Don't touch the fentanyl, cause it leave traces. And to touch the bitch I'm with, you gon' need paper. Niggas lying through their teeth so much, they gon' need braces. At my grandfather's funeral with black masons, I'm black Illuminati, say a prayer, amen. My heart dark like Darth Vader, but my soul shine bright like Las Vegas. Tell them crackers fuck they mule in they 40 acres. We want back Africa, we want back our language, we want back our pyramids, we want back our spaceships. Give us space, get up out our faces. Amazing grace, say a prayer, nigga. Benjamins and black briefcases. Fuck small talk, gotta think major. Paranoid like that's how the streets made us. But the streets paid us, and the streets raised us. Blue Benjamins and black briefcases. Yeah. Blue Benjamins and black briefcases. 30,000 feet above these niggas snitching on me. First I did it in the city, then I did it OT. Keep a trick up my sleeve. Abracadabra, no, I'm not your regular trapper. If I want your bitch, I'ma have her. I feel like the Morris King, I have her. Niggas ain't fucking with me. Excuse yourself, nigga ain't using the stick, gotta pay for the hit cause you know you wouldn't do it yourself. Meanwhile, my money still coming on repeat. My bitch little feet on CC, DG, Louis V. I came a long way from that CDC. Blue Benjamins and black briefcases. Fuck small talk, gotta think major. Paranoid like that's how the streets made us. But the streets paid us, and the streets raised us. Blue Benjamins and black briefcases. Yeah. Blue Benjamins and black briefcases. You know the God always got something cooking up in the cut. Divine family is your humble teacher, King El Allah, better known as Crip Jesus. I want y'all to know something. I take that L serious and I take that Allah serious. Now, we can only go so deep in Word 2. So if you really want to get a deeper understanding, get your copy of the Blue Bible. The name El was chosen by me long before even knowing what the Moorish Science Temple was. As we see here, dated 2017 years after Christ. I chose the name Shabaka El Mahdi, the 25th scientist. Whoa! Did I know what that would expose me to by choosing that name? You know what I mean? It's led me down many pathways, you know, being an El Allah. It got me introduced to Mujahid El Allah and Ansar El Muhammad. You feel what I'm saying? It don't stop. But let's back up, because there's a group of people who are trying to monopolize the L. They're trying to put a spell on our people and monopolize the L. These ain't the real Moors. These the temple Moors. Shout out to the real Moors, you know what I'm saying, that really out here building the bridge and working with the people. Not just the people that's in the temple, but the people in the streets. You feel what I'm saying? Brothers like Kinu Omar Bey. You mean, shout out, he came out with the, you know, he came out with me when he made his way to LA, he made sure he touched the Blue Bible. He came out and touched bases. And then you got brothers like Cosmo L. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, if you really want to tap in, go watch this episode I got with Cosmo L called White Slaves in Morocco. Let me show y'all that. Whoa! You see it? You see it? That part? Oh yeah, white slaves in Morocco. Don't think we just up in here Morris this or that. Guys, I kept it God body. Check this out.
Right here in the blue Bible. Right here in the blue Bible.
My
Make
bad,
sure y'all get y'all
Peace,
copies.
peace,
Go to
peace,
cripjesus.com. Make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe, y'all. In 1017, he, talking about Al-Hakim, y'all, was deemed Allah in the flesh by Imam ad-Darazi.
This was more like a Islamic order, right? Where you would say, so in the general Muslim kingdoms would probably not be recognizing him as Allah in the flesh. So just understanding where that's coming from, because when you're dealing with the Ismailis, you're dealing with a lot of their people came to power because of their ability to perform a lot of assassinations.
A lot of assassinations. The Hashashins, you feel what I'm saying? The Ishmaelis, the Ishmaelites. These are the tribes that the Arabs claim descent from because of the Ishmaelites constantly mixing with the slaves they would get from the Caucasus Mountains. However, next to them, you had the Saracens. Now, a lot of these dudes put on the purple skirts and the eyeliner, and they get in their outfits and garbs and get to talk about Isaac and the Jews and all these names. We love using the devil's names, but we come in the name of Allah, alhamdulillah, with the real tribes. And what you see is the Saracens was there, the entire the Ishmaelites were important people of Adam, and that was 600 years. And then they migrated to the West. So they were Islamic before the time of the Prophet Muhammad. He's built upon them. Yeah. Those are the ones that Wallace Farrar Muhammad calls his uncle. The Saracens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought the little. Okay. Check it out. With that being said, you gotta go a little further west. Figure out who is the original people of this side. Okay, hold on. I got a little lag going on. So what we'll do is I'll just talk about Saracen. As I was explaining, when Wallace Farrar Muhammad calls the original people here in the West his uncle, there's a reason. Because the people he descends from, remember, when you're dealing with Islam, you're dealing with the real tribes. When you read about Virgin Mary in the Bible, you don't get too far. Maybe back to, maybe you can draw it back to Lincoln, the one they call Jesus, to the Moabites, proof. But the truth is, her tribe being Ben Imran is only in the Quran. Who's Beni Amram? That's the Amram tribe. In Exodus 6:20, Amram. And they're called this, they come from a city called Tel El Armana, built by Akhenaton, his father. Yes. This is the tribe of Jesus' mama, only revealed in the Quran. And only broken down and explained completely in the Blue Bible. That's why you need to get your Blue Bible. You got to read it all the way, man, because it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, especially that chapter 12. All right. Now, before we get to chapter 12, though, when you get to chapter Bill, which is chapter 8, we're breaking down. So, Wallace Farrar Muhammad calls us his uncle. So who's his father? Well, the Ishmaelites, which are the tribe claimed by the Arab people, the Ishmaelites are the original people of the Middle East, but they're mixed because they enslaved the people of the Caucasus Mountains for so many centuries and so many years. And unlike the devil over here that kept us separate for genetic survival, they actually would indulge and mix and mix and mix and mix. So he's a descendant. As an Arab, he's a descendant of the Ishmaelites, the original Ishmaelites. Now, their brothers are the Saracens. That would be us. You feel what I'm saying? That's how they described us. And we actually fought against the Northerners for 600 years and then migrated west. All right. Now, even before we migrated west as the Saracens, when the Egyptian throne fell with Cleopatra, we migrated west. This is all explained in the Blue Bible, man. Get your copy. What's this page?
Cleopatra,
72.
the last royal bloodline in Egypt. Her daughter, forget talking about her son all day, Little Caesar. Her daughter was left alive and was sent to be the queen of West Africa. Her name is Cleopatra Selene, I believe. And the people she ruled over, Mauritania, the land of the Moors, were considered to be descendants of Goliath. If you take the "uf" off the end, the "uf" used to describe, what do you have there in Goliath's name? Gala. The giant Gullah guy, giant Gullah. Yeah. So all the Gullah nations I found, you have to go through the woman to figure out the bloodlines.
So there you have it. The Gullah matriarchies are Moorish. And they went from North Africa and West Africa to what we call North America. Now, that's the secret of the wealth of the Niani Empire, known in French as the Mali Empire. This is all broken down right here. Okay? And what you got to understand is when Wallace Farrar Muhammad presents himself in this fashion, this is what he's talking about. We're relatives. We're blood. Page 65 of the Blue Bible. The Ishmaelites imported millions of the people of Adam into Arabia while spreading Islam. It was through their slave trade that the people of Adam gained access to the Quran, the Middle East, and the Arabic language. When the people of Adam first arrived in Egypt, the natives recorded them as speaking Greek, worshiping Zeus, and being from a foreign land in the north. The Saracens fought against Northerners invading the Holy Lands for 600 years. It was during that time that many of them migrated to West Africa and established caliphates and kingdoms. The true name of Musa's throne is the Niani Empire. The Mali is French. The true name of his ethnicity is Mandinka. Okay? Now, the point being made there is the same thing in Moorish science when it says that Ethiopia is the divider, and from Cush and his descendants, you have the son, and then from Ham and his descendants, you have the father. in going west, meaning that the Canaanites, the original man, the Gala giants, the Goliaths to the west were the ancestors of those to the east. Now, as I was explaining with the Cleopatra clip, those to the east were working on what me and the guy was talking about, creating the perfected man. So you had these different mixtures, and that whole entire eugenic type concept. Well, eugenics is when the devil does it. That's why I got the U on the front, the EU. You feel what I'm saying? Europe. You know what I mean? That's going to the culture degree of the 1 through 14. But also, if you look at the fact that scientifically, they want to make what they call pure is they want to break down your molecular structure all the way till it has nothing left. What we call pure was the most abundant, the origin. So we would create the best, most beautiful. This is where you get a lot of the red man over here in the West. All right. So with all that being said, we are now bringing to you the science of the original people of North America. Okay. Let me get this presentation up here, man, because we can't have y'all missing this. All right. Now. Oh, yes. All right. What y'all about to witness before your very eyes is the Black Illuminati.
You know, when you're a black man in America, you gotta make something out of nothing, baby. You gotta wiggle, you gotta move, you gotta finesse, you gotta tap in. That part. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes. We the Black Illuminati. We be posted at Lemur Park, hustling, catching bodies. A dripping OT. Thirsty peaches flew to Saudi. Money schemes, my niggas had dreams of riding Bugattis. Now it's 4-finger rings supreme with kings around me. Watch me turn the metaphysical to physical. It's not just lyrical, it's literal. These guns get rid of you, the spiritual. Spit out, let drip off a nigga lip, but get up in you and rip you up like 100 hollow tips. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammadeen. Had a dream last night on some other shit. Farrakhan and Malcolm X pulled up in the mothership. Talking about UFOs, black kings and queens that was rich as fuck, swimming in pools of gold. But niggas like you don't wanna hear that though. You were descended of one of them snitches or dudes that told the white man about all the fucking Jews and gold. And that's how everybody in the crew got sold. Fucking blabbermouth, I don't like his type. Pull that ratchet out, we tapping in. All these bitch niggas doing is tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes, with the Black Illuminati.
So you see that one? Yeah.
Oh, we back at it.
That's that one, yeah. Back at it. In the hood entertainment. You feel me?
Night, man.
That part.
You never know what's gonna bring.
See, I ain't know if it's in the hood music, in the hood clothing. That's where they go. In the hood entertainment. It's in the hood entertainment.
It's everything.
According to the 120, the original man of the entire planet Asia, as the earth is called when it was one big landmass, one big island, is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. Now he's like, why you put the black in there, man? Because we want you to know exactly how he looked. The original. You see that right there? So that's the original man of North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia. All these lands were Asia. The Asiatic. That's what we have in common. I gotta give y'all 30 seconds. Where y'all think that man right there is from? With them dreads and all that right there, standing there like that. Where y'all think he from? I got 30 seconds. That man is Hindu. That man is Hindu. That picture is in India. Yes, sir. Okay. So what is an Indian? See, what happens is we get to using these industrial titles and forgetting who and what is what. The Indian is a title given out that some accepted, some didn't. And we use it to explain it to the 85, the blind, deaf, and dumb, because maybe it's the only word they can understand to understand a person that was here before the conqueror, but it's not the proper term. That is an original man. The original, Aboriginal, right? Aboriginal being for the A blood, B blood type, and the cipher blood type, O blood. This is the real original, okay? And you see, they come from a spirituality that's much more larger than ours. You can see how we get pieces of it. Just like it says in the Circle 7 Quran, each man sees a piece of Allah and sees that piece and names it God. But right here, you see me with the gods, for all those that question my credentials. And we have declared that we are done with searching. We searched for trillions of years. We have come to the conclusion that the Son of Man is God. You know what I'm saying? The original man, arm, leg, arm, head. The black man is God. His proper name is Allah. We come in the name of Allah. You know what I'm saying? Now check this out. Why did we let half original Columbus discover the poor part of the planet Earth? We told you it was all around the earth already. And you got to understand too, the Moors actually led Columbus, you know what I'm saying, to North America. We let him do that. That's a literal term. Because the original man is God and the owner of the earth and knows every square inch of it and has chosen for himself the best part. He did not care about the poor part. Columbus was a half original man. It was born in Italy, which is Southeast Europe. His full name was Christopher Columbus, and the place he discovered was North America. He found the Indians here, who were exiled 16,000 years ago from India. They are original people. So there is a group of original people from the East that were exiled here, that he encountered when he got here. But that doesn't still account for the rest of the original people. And that's why if you go back, now this is understanding, which is the third degree, 1 through 14. Then you go back to understanding the third degree of the 1 through 10 is what is the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America and all over the planet Earth. The population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America is 17 million. With the 2 million Indians makes it 19 million. All over the planet Earth is 4,400,000,000. So what's the difference between the original nation and the 2 million Indians? We're all together because we were all here before the devil. But the 17 million are the originals. Why does the devil call our people Africans? To make our people of North America believe that the people on that continent are the only people they have and are all savage. He bought a trading post in the jungle of that continent. The original people live on this continent, and they are the ones that strayed away from civilization and are living a jungle life. The original people call this continent Asia, but the devils call it Africa to try to divide them. He wants us to think that we are all different. Because even as identifying as an African in totality with no nationality, which nation do you identify with? When do you ever create a nationhood for yourself to interact with other nations? You know, as I wrote the Blue Bible, I met an important man. And when I met him, I showed him some paperwork I had of my name, Shabaka L. Rivers. It's not a name I just made up and used to write books, y'all. It's a real thing. And I realized that I was part of an organization called ARNA, the Aboriginal Republic of North America. I want to show y'all the mayor of Sun Village, California. But hold on, before I show y'all him, let me show y'all. Y'all can go Google this thing, all right? This is not fake. This is the real deal, okay? Hold on, let me add this to the stream. The town of Sun Village, California makes history as the first Black tribal township in North America. Yay! Mayor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on.
Man,
Okay.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful right there, man.
Indeed, man. Yes, sir. A lot of people had an issue with that headline and that press release because we used the word Black in there. A lot of our Moorish brothers was having issues with it. But the thing is, we are talking to the Moors, but we're talking to the Moors that are not conscious that they Moors. So we had to use the terms that they were most familiar with. Like you were saying earlier up in this live. We got to speak the language of the people. We gotta get amongst them. You know, we tell them we don't want to alienate them. So we said Black tribal township, letting them know, like, you know, because we know before we were in this thing that we call slavery, which is really genocide, we were in our own tribes, in our own tribal governments, living freedom. So once we got into this bondage, in order for us to be free and to get reparations, we had to repair that which happened to us. So we got to get back into our own tribal governments. So ARNA, Aboriginal Republic of North America, is pretty much the first indigenous Black tribe in North America that has been recognized by North America, the United States of America, by way of kind of legal rights. And she did the formal recognition. And then from that point on, when we got into Sun Village and was installed as officers of Sun Village, when we did the research, we found that the original intent of Sun Village was to establish that area as a tribal area for our people. The principal founder of Sun Village is Melvin Ray Grubbs. Melvin Ray Grubbs was born as a Cherokee national in the Oklahoma Township 27. We did his genealogy research. We found a lot of evidence in Sun Village that showed us that this was the original intent. So we got with ARNA. ARNA gave us a step-by-step process on how to establish this town as a tribal territory, and we did it. We formed a plebiscite. We got it registered and acknowledged on all the necessary levels, and then we got reciprocal recognition from the tribe, Shiamaru tribal government, which is also known as the Aboriginal Republic of North America. Yeah, that's it, man. Pretty much. That's some Jews. I want to go back and forth a little bit, see if there's some questions about it.
No, that's perfect, because this is my thing. It's getting to a point now where dudes want to argue about philosophies and whose regalia is the cutest and who's related to who. And I'm not gonna lie, I play the whole game, but I think a lot of dudes that are blind, they look at me as a conundrum, a lie, and this don't connect with that, and this and that. And then those of us that are enlightened, as I call the Black Illuminati, you know what I mean? Y'all get it immediately. Y'all, I thought about you when we met. I thought about you before I even heard your name. Who's already thinking this? So it's like, right, you already understand. So I'll play that game with them, because for me, I line up. Like I got all the check marks. The prison stuff, the Moorish stuff, the 5%, the NOI, the Muslim ties, the gang ties, the grandfather in the masonry. But here's the point that I show y'all through the Blue Bible, is that none of that really matters. Like how you said when you read it, it's like, oh man, I'm feeling everything you're talking about. None of that matters. I've got dudes in Delaware reading it that Ain't never seen a gang that's like, oh, you know. So it's not a gang book, y'all. It's about exactly what the brother's talking about. How to use the knowledge itself to create tribal, to use the science of tribalism and turn that into the science of government, and using said science to actually incorporate yourself with nationhood to do business with other nations, with land though, y'all. Here's a problem. We can argue on the internet, we can do these temples all day, but if you want to go all the way back, that's probably where a lot of division came between the Black Power movement, the Moorish movement, the science movement, because you have the scientists who feel like as long as they educate themselves, everything will be all right. But you're educating yourself for what? Who ends up with the science at the end of the day? The devil. You get what I'm saying? Because you get what I'm saying? What, you're gonna go work for NASA, you're gonna go work on a larger scale. If we don't have any cultural identity to build as one, what happens? Now, sometimes people say, well, this is right and exact. You know what I mean? They look at it in the sense of a republic. This is what the prophet said, or this is what such and such said. This is when you turn it into like a religious type of movement, as opposed to dealing with strictly identity on a national level. You know, and nationality is a political science. It's not a religious science. You feel what I'm saying? It's not it can rest on a religion in dealing with it in a historical sense. That's why when you see in more science, we talk about the Mohammedan faith. But when you use a term like Mohammedan faith, it becomes such a big umbrella that now you're dealing with the Ummah. That's what we were talking about earlier. When I told you when I was in the temple and they know the word Ummah, I was like, nah, that don't make any sense, because anything within the science of the Mohammedan faith, whether you would say, oh, if you go over there, they'll tear you up for saying that. Okay, same thing in the gang world. But we know from being in prisons that even in the gang world, when the enemy is attacking, we will unite against that common enemy. It's been seen time and time again. We operate as nations. And it was a brother that did a review on me. He was talking about how we don't know the science of nationhood out here in Chicago. I'm like, look, it's nothing to compare. I'm not here to compare gangs, because all the gangs are living in sin and living in chaos right now. So I'm not here to glamorize that. But I will tell you this, if you get the Blue Bible, you'll see that we were dealing with nationhood and we fell in the Civil War long ago from being directly infiltrated. You know what I mean? We're right by Mexico. We're right here. We're in the California Republic with Schwarzenegger and Tookie and all type of things, man. But with all that being said, I want to bring something to the table. So break down the science that you was giving me on why it's Little Rock, which is a little rock, or Sun Village, which I was giving to me how it's in the Quran and all that. Give me that, son.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. So, and see, I got to go a little further go before that. So I'm gonna go back to the Melvin Ray Grubbs. Melvin Ray Grubbs was born in 1900. I think January 16th or something like that, 1900. He was born in Oklahoma. The township that he was born in was about 2 hours away from Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when that happened, you know, the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing and massacre happened in 1921. So he was 21 years old when this happened. We see that he left Oklahoma and went to Chicago, and he became a lawyer and a real estate broker and a real estate agent. Then he left there in the mid-30s to California and purchased the land then known as Little Rock. Little Rock, if you look in the ancient records, I won't say ancient records, but before, you know, California was established, this area, the area of Little Rock, was a trading ground for 5 different sub-tribes of the Shoshone people. When Little Rock was established, California was about 39 years old, 39, 40 years old when California became a member of the United States. So the people that was there in Little Rock was still the indigenous people there. And we know California was really established in Northern California, up there in Sacramento. Sacramento is the state, the capital of California. So anything down south was still pretty much ran by the indigenous people. So when Melvin Ray Grubbs came out to California in 38, 39, he purchased most of Little Rock. It was only like a little small slither of Little Rock that still remained. And he renamed it Sun Village in 1939. By 1944, he established the Sun Village Water and Improvement Company and the Sun Village Energy Company. The reason why he started the Water and Improvement Company is because Sun Village is an aquifer territory. There's water running all up under Sun Village, and he began to have the residents there dig wells. And you can hear in the name, Little Rock. There's also a Big Rock that's north of Sun Village. There's a lot of different tribal names all around the area. So it was like a given, like, oh yeah, you know, white people came over here taking over, you know, during the gold rush, 1849. And really the gold rush we know is a code word. The gold rush is, yeah, they was out there digging for gold, but the gold rush was really they was rushing us, taking off on the golden colored, copper colored people of California. That was the gold rush.
Yeah.
So they started massacring us after you know, California was ceded. You know, some of them sold out. You know, we have a lot of the people who sold out, like, okay, you know, we gave up. But at the same time, we got to understand this. That was not the Moroccan Empire at the time. That was the Spanish Empire.
Yeah.
Spanish Empire been around since 1492, 93.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you talking about
they expelled the Moors.
Right. So when you talking about
people can understand that the Moriscos, the Moors, like when they say Morena in Spanish and all that, they were completely Christianized. They were mixed in.
Sir.
They weren't dealing with
Catholics. That's right. It was Catholic. So the Spanish Empire ran that then, but still, it was a lot of our people that continued on with the indigenous practice, even up under the Spanish rule.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, that's where she comes into play, because remember Empress Verdiachi Tierra. A lot of people ask me about, well, where did she come in? I say, well, she was able to sue the country, the U.S. government, because a lot of us have that Creole connection and the French and all that, but what a lot of us don't know is the French, when Napoleon did a deal with Thomas Jefferson, the majority of that land that he so-called called himself selling was protected and privately owned by us through Spanish land grants. You feel what I'm saying? Check this out.
Do you think anyone could make a treaty, join a turtle? My people didn't draw no Ninja Turtle. My people didn't sign no deeds with the United States of America. My people haven't sold them anything and haven't made any treaty yet. My first treaty will be to pay my people what you owe them, $35 per acre from 1803 up to when I first filed with the Department of Interior, which will be $80 quadrillion.
She said 80 quadrillion.
That's right. $45 an acre. Now, this is very important before we rush to this. $45 an acre. So I want to propose this to people, what we're talking about, because we kind of fast forwarded. Who even knew we owned land over here? What is she even talking about? So the point I'm making is there's a lot that's missed by us being so sexist. We're not looking at Noble Drew Ali's mother, and we're not looking at, what is this, his cousin, her niece or something? This is like how do you tell me, for all the Moors out there, how was his cousin living around the corner all these years and you didn't see her?
Everybody should went and took a picture with her. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So at some point, we get the Jesus-fying our teachers, the Jesus-fying our leaders. And that's the point why I took the name Jesus. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm telling all the homies, even within you is the power of Christ, bro. Stop it. Don't let these people, you know what I mean, Jesus-fy you. You know what I mean? Because you can't tell me that you studying this dude for 50, 60 years and you don't know his relatives are right around the corner. These lands they're talking about is right there, right? So then they switch position and forget about the moral science going to the east. Because even when I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel I follow the teachings of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, where once we nationalize ourselves, we still should do our business with the people our brothers and sisters in Africa, like how you see with the Gaddafi, or how you see the Ghanaians right now offering nationality and citizenship. You can have a child that's got both. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's doing trade back and forth.
For himself, I wouldn't even say that was Al Hajj Malik El Shabazz. It was pretty much that was the concept that was on the top of the Muhammad Speaks at that time. You know, the reaching across. You know, from Africa, Asia, and America, the black men doing business with each other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a Pan-African concept, you know, but it's based off nationality and based off of us, you know, being in our own tribal governments and our own, you know, other setups, you know, organization setups. One thing I wanted to go on with the sister there, Gostinel Bay, is that, you know, the founder of ARNA, which is Chief Amaru Namataga Shia Ali.
Yeah.
He worked very closely with that sister. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, that book that's out now called The Return of the Ancestors.
Return of the Ancients.
The Return of the Ancients, yes, sir. That brother, Brother Namataga Shia Ali, is the one who made that book. He's the one who went to the Staples and made the scan so that it can be a PDF today, you know.
Wow.
And you can get that book on arnagovernment.org in the book sections. And then you talked about the gangs, the so-called gangs earlier. Now the Blue Bible, right? Giving the brother in Delaware a better narrative than what has been given in the news and the media. You know, the dominant narrative in the media is that, blacks kill blacks. Blacks don't, you know, when it came out with the what's that? Black Lives Matter. Remember when Black Lives Matter came out? The very first response to Black Lives Matter was, no, Black lives don't matter because black people kill black people. That was the first response. So you got to think about it. Who was they talking about when they said because black people kill black people? They was talking about the so-called gangs in North America, which we know is not really gangs. That's how it's like calling a Moroccan black. No, I'm not black. I'm Moorish. But you calling a tribal member a gang, you know. And this is something that the white, they did it back then in slavery, slave gangs, you know, stuff like that. They always use that term.
Yeah, they've always used that term.
Yeah. But we know that these formations that we took on, like in the 30s, in the 40s, in the 100s, and all these areas, was us reforming into our tribal government structure. So when you said, when somebody attacked the black gang and all the black so-called black gangs assemble and attack back, that's a unity factor that a lot of people don't know about. But when it happens, and then everybody goes back off into their little corners and pockets and go back into their own little individual tribalism.
Well, what I learned in prison though, when I actually broke, you know, the barriers and start talking to Bloods and Crips and really paying attention, I started noticing that a lot of OG Crips had the name Dog, even though we associate Blood and Dog with the red rag. And I saw a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I met a few, not just one, Bloods with the name Loke, just spelled L-O-K. You ever seen that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I know one particularly name is Ed Loke from I forgot the name, bro. I forgot this by the water gates and the waterfronts over there. By there, he was Paru from over there, and his name was Ed Loke. And then I know a lot of Sea Dogs and like that. They was Crips,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, and they would actually say if you was a Crip, oh, you a Sea Dog. I remember that.
A B dog or a C dog. Yeah, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So look, in page 13 of the Blue Bible, it says, get your copy, man. Hold on. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I use this technology and get this up here. Y'all see the website down there? Tap in. We got the music page. You can tap in with the music. And got the Sunday school link on the bottom. You go to the Black Illuminati page on there. Get a little knowledge. Get some extra higher level video type shit. The Sunday school link. Go to Baby Jesus. See the Jesus family, the Allah family, right out there in Detroit, D Mecca, right now. Fourth to love Allah, LA. Or you can go over there and get all your merchandise and all that on the contact page and hit me direct. And get a Blue Bible directly to you because we finna have that thing electronic, Amazon ebook, all that. But anyway, page 13. When Raymond Washington created Crip, we were all Bloods. The first Crips called each other Blood. We were one nation with Mr. Washington as our president and the state of California as our free republic. This only lasted until our fights escalated to shootings. The Civil Wars forced us to separate, and the sets that remained Crip replaced the word blood with cuz. The Bloods and Crips were in civil war for 50 years, 1972 to 2022. Now we are completely lost, and our communities are being terrorized by the same police we were created to protect them from. Our money is being extorted by the same courts we are supposed to be protecting our children from. We have no cause, focus, or purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
both
sir.
Bloods and Crips culture begin with Raymond Washington, right? Because that's what I try to explain to people. Even though I showed how the Bloods was there already, the culture that you see in Crips and Bloods with the khakis and the blood walk, the Crip walk, all that goes back to Raymond Washington.
Right.
And that's why you see the dog on both sides, the loc on both sides. You know what I mean? It was a group together but it fell apart so about just as fast as it came together. You know what I'm saying? Both Bloods and Crips
you gotta look at it though.
This is important.
Go say it. Yes, sir.
This is important. Look, let me finish. Because within his name is the identity. Within his name is the identity of the lost tribes and families of North America, including mine, the lost tribe of Jesus. So if you look at his first name and you take it from a Creole perspective, Raymond is like the sun man, sun mind, the sun man, you know what I mean? The sun God, you know what I'm saying? And then you got like Raymond, Amon, and then you got Washington, Washington. You know what I'm saying? Sun God, Washington, sun man, Washington. Feel me? So yeah, that's the way we need our brothers thinking. If they can see that in his name, they can see that in themselves. You dig what I'm saying? That's what this book is about. Waking you up, not waking you up from some magical place. You gotta wear some dress like this. Let you know even where you stand right now, you are the supreme. Feel me?
Absolutely, God. Because that was another thing that was part of your question when you was asking about Sun Village and the founder. You know, his name is Melvin Ray Grubbs, right? And for him to establish Sun Village and the people there, the original people of Sun Village, they call themselves the villagers. And so when we was going through this tribal understanding and properly trying to represent the people there who are self-identified as villagers, we started looking into the name of Melvin Ray Grubbs. And then Melvin is a Hebrew term, and it means the protector of the council. Ray, of course, we know comes from Ra, which is the sun god, right? And Grubbs is his family. Grubbs' family are miners. They're people who know how to get riches up out of the earth. And so we know that when he went there, he knew much about the earth, and he knew much about what was in the earth of Sun Village. The Sun Village has minerals out of this world. Like there's 100 150 or more mining companies in Sun Village right now, stripping it. You know, they making cement, they getting gold, all kinds of stuff up out of Sun Village right now to this day. And Sun Village has a questionable memorandum of understanding with the next territory next of us called Palmdale, California. Palmdale was able to get in position and to do a lot of digging, and they established these particular mining companies, and they're the ones that's making all the money off of it right now. When you talked about the Crips and the Bloods going down, they, you know, got unraveled as soon as they got together. We also got to understand the time in which they was forming this organization or this tribe. This is the time when the Black Panthers was under full-fledged attack by the FBI, you know, J. Edgar Hoover. We know the Slausons was there, and Bunchy Carter was the head of the Slausons and the new LA chapter of the Black Panther Party. And then things were used, the FBI were using things in between Bunchy Carter, Bobby Seale, and what's the brother name? Huey P. Newton, like writing letters back and forth. They said the Oakland Panthers disbanded the LA Black Panthers, got rid of their charter because they said that the LA Black Panthers was too revolutionary. How you say, you know? So Bunchy Carter, you know, they getting into it with the US organization, not even realize that we fully infiltrated by this time. So when you look at the 6-0s, because you know the 60s, the Rolling 60 Crips is directly from the Slauson boys.
Yeah.
That's you know, so the ones that didn't want to follow Bunchy Carter into the Black Panther concept, and the Slausons that followed him, the ones that stayed Slausons, or you know, the Gladiators, they went and they formed into the 6-0s. And then now we look at Nipsey Hussle, that whole situation right there, we see hidden hands in it, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say like the Crips and the Bloods have been infiltrated from the beginning. The Nation of Islam, captain of the Nation of Islam, Brother Captain Halim Muhammad, told us that there was at least 3 agents per gang, per organization, moving around, influencing stuff. We you know, after a while, we can probably see, because of the operations, we probably would be able to identify who they are now. But these cats is probably long gone, replaced, and because now it's on a perpetual motion of destruction. So for us to come now with the Blue Bible and the street writing stuff to try to teach some of the brothers that's misled, and a lot of the older brothers know, get them back off into the right original intent of what the Crip and them Blood and them was about, then we'll be, you know, on our right course.
My thing is this why I don't like, because I'm gonna get to this brother and show you what I'm talking about, but this is why I don't go back and forth with the gang thing, because my thing is to take them out the gangs. You feel what I'm saying? Bring them, you know what I mean, to places like Sun Village. Now this is my thing. Down there in the description, I'm gonna have the to become an e-resident. Why is it important for, you know, the brothers and sisters to become an e-resident in Sun Village? You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
even if they ain't trying to just move out right away, you feel what I'm saying? Why they need to become a resident, an e-resident.
Yes, that was one of the wishes of the mayor before me. She passed away just last month, well, a couple of months ago in April, Miss Magdalene Lawrence. She was the one who installed us, or she's the one who made us officers of Sun Village. It was her executive order. She knew that the people of Sun Village were being discriminated against and being pushed out of Sun Village. The redlining started to happen in reverse. They didn't want to sell to nobody. The real estate agents was all in on it. They didn't want to sell none of us in Sun Village because they know what kind of power. We still had a power. We still sit in the seat of authority there. So they got a lot of El Salvadorians and whites and all these people moving in by way of the I call it reverse redlining. So the sister was like, we got to get more of our people here. We got to get more of our people to represent the town. So as I was studying this, I came across a country that used to be part of the Soviet Union. They were called they're called Estonia. Estonia was like one of the weakest countries of the Soviet Union, USSR, right? And what they had a lot of strength in was computers and technology. So in order to strengthen their government, they started an electronic resident program for people outside of Estonia to come and be citizens and to help vote and generate money, establish businesses within Estonia, and be an actual Estonia extended resident. So I took the idea from them. I established it in Sun Village, and what we do now is when a person wants to become an e-resident, which you know how like our Moorish brothers are like, oh, we're not residents, we're inhabitants of the land. You know, there's a difference. The term resident is kind of like a compromising term to some, but this e-resident program is in the true sense of the word, because you're not really there in Sun Village, but your business is. We established a business for you in Sun Village, a tribal business that is not taxed by the United States. It can't be audited. It's a foreign entity. Okay, and you can operate business there. You can vote there. You can be a stakeholder in Sun Village as an e-resident, and that's just one of the programs that we have. If you don't want to move to Sun Village, you can become an e-resident. You can stay in LA and do that. You can be in Oklahoma, you can be in New York and be an e-resident. But we also have full-fledged membership in the Sun Village tribe. And that also establishes, you know, you don't have to be in Sun Village to do this. We can nationalize you from here to wherever you at. You can have your own nation that you're a member of if you don't have a nationality. Sun Village is unique in that aspect, is because, you know, California in the United States recognizes the territory known as Sun Village, even though they're trying to wipe it off the map. But now that we reorganized into a full-fledged tribal government, they like, whoa. If you go on our YouTube page, you'll see like they questioning us like, well, how, why did y'all do this? You know, but they know, they just playing stupid, bro. They know what we was doing and why we was there and why we got installed back in 2018.
Yeah.
You know? So, yes, sir. I hope that was a good enough explanation.
Oh, no, that was a real good breakdown. For y'all that want to see something, we was just out there to check this out.
Yeah. I've been waiting on you. Yeah, it's you. You gotta be the one. You know? So.
So those are Joshua trees, right?
Yes, sir. Got them right there. Joshua trees. And somewhere up in Lake LA, which used to be part of South Village, it's a big ass Joshua tree. The trunk of it is as wide as this car. Yes, sir. Yeah, let me give a explanation to our people that live in the cities. You know, Sun Village, politically, this is what we have written in our bylaws. Politically, the territory of Sun Village is 145 blocks going east to west and 45 blocks going north to south. Just to give you an idea how big the political area of Sun Village is. We call that the political area because that's what we have on paper. But we know Sun Village is 3 or 4 times bigger than that. And we call that the territorial area of Sun Village.
Yeah, I remember when I came, you showed me, I was like, whoa, this is way more. I remember.
Yeah, way more.
As we ran into old boy, the Spanish dude.
Yeah, yes, sir. So Melvin Ray Grubbs is supposedly buried in Palmdale. Like, how is Melvin Ray Grubbs' grave in Palmdale but we know he from Sun Village, and we know that Palmdale pushed their way over and encroached up on Sun Village territory. So did Lancaster, so did Little Rock, so did Lake Los Angeles. All these surrounding territories that really got together and they sided with, you know, the incorporated state. Yeah. Sun Village remains unincorporated, and we do not want to be incorporated with the state or under the state or the county. So all these other small little townships, they said, oh, we can't do it. Plus they got co-opted. They don't have any of us on there. Well, they do. They probably do now have some of our people on their councils, but they don't have their proper status. So they don't know how to really properly exercise their authority in their seat. So they like want to get all the benefits from the county and the state instead of, you know, self-governance and autonomy.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And for those that just wanted to get a better view of what we're talking about, you know, we now know Dr. Umar work you out your money, sell you a dream type stuff. This was going on in Sun Village right now.
Yes, sir. I didn't realize you was doing all that filming, bro. You got some good footage.
Oh yes, sir.
What that was Jackie Robinson Park. That's the first ever Jackie Robinson Park ever to be established in North America, and Jackie Robinson was there to establish that park. Now, what's interesting about that is that was 1965. And we know that in 1965, there was a pivotal point when it came to our people running their own towns and their own cities and us being integrated into America. The whole thing about, like how the messenger said, the offer of integration is hypocritical. Do not integrate with these people. But we know also Malcolm X, Al-Haj Malik El-Shabazz was assassinated in 1965. That scared the shit out of our people. Pardon yourself on the language. But our people was like, oh no. And then they put Martin Luther King out there like, see, I told you, nonviolence, blah, blah, blah. So then our people was like, yeah, we need to integrate. So a large majority of our people went full-fledged into, you know, want the hypocritical integration offer that the white man European gave us. Jackie Robinson, in my opinion, was sent to Sun Village. Okay, because either he was sent or he just didn't know, you know. But Jackie Robinson represents the Martin Luther King of the national the baseball league, because he was once of the Negro League, and he was the one who crossed over into integrating the National Baseball League, right? NBL or NBL,
yeah.
I don't know what to call it, right? Major League Baseball, right? So
MLB.
So when he go out there to establish that was a clear cut attack on Sun Village, because Sun Village is known as, no, this a black town, this a black area, we don't want y'all. So if they see this brother come establish this park, it was like a ploy to me. Like, then everybody started forgetting who Melvin Ray Grubbs was and why Sun Village was established. Like, our people was literally being redlined into there. We couldn't live nowhere else but right there. And then once we say, okay, we're going to run our own shit, we got the whole thing moving now, they come with Jackie Robinson, you know? So, yeah, Jackie Robinson is probably one of the biggest parks and established areas in Sun Village. But the people there, somebody sold that territory to the county of Los Angeles. You look at it now, it's going to say owned by the county of Los Angeles. So, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because you know it's an attraction piece. Yeah, Jackie Robinson Park is in Sun Village, but it's really in the county of Los Angeles. If you go step out of Jackie Robinson Park and then put on the maps where you at, it's going to say near Los Angeles County. It's not going to say in Los Angeles County, you know? So when you, all throughout Sun Village, it's going to say near Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
You know? So, yes, sir.
Yeah, somebody
good village, though.
Yeah. So, okay, now, with all that being said, y'all want to tap in. Oh, no, my bad. It's one damn thing. Remember you was telling me about the Sora? The Sora
Yes,
that's
sir.
named, yeah, okay.
Okay. So, Sun Village was established in 1939. At that time, from 1848, that's 91 years. So in my studies, Islamic studies, I immediately like, 91, that's Surah 91, the sun, Al-Shams. So I started studying that particular chapter in the Quran, and it went off into these people who lived inside of the earth, the Ad and the Thamud. There was no tribe back then called Bani al-Shams, or the tribe of the sun, the people of the sun. But today, when we chose our tribal name, we chose to use that as our tribal name, not just the Sun Village tribal government, or the tribal township of Sun Village, but also Bani al-Shams. And these people that is mentioned in the Quran were people who lived inside of the earth. And so I hope you got footage of that too, because we went into the mountain, into the earth, there in Sun Village. It's called Lake LA now, but that was once Sun Village as well. And when you look at the mountain ranges in Sun Village, it looks like you can walk right in between the rocks and go right up into the earth, you know. So that just shows how ancient the territory is. It's like it is the beginning. It is the west gate to what's called the Sierra Nevada Mountains. That goes over the whole Great Basin. That's from California, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado. All of them states is covered by what the mountains in where the mountains in Sun Village start at, which is originally called the Western Mojave Desert. It's not called Antelope Valley. That's a new name that the European gave it. Okay. So, yes, sir. Did I
That's
answer
it right there. So that's because I saw that as the prophecy of when it's written in the Hadith that in the end the sun will rise from the west.
Exactly.
That's the people of the sun in the west, in the far west, and then you see Califia. Empress Califia was the empress of the caliphate far to the west, because you know in her stories she's Muslim. A lot of Black Power people don't talk about that, right? Now she's Muslim. Now this is what makes it funny. So this goes to the Moors trying to put a monopoly on the science, and we're saying, because you see, you got your L, I got my L as well, and even G-Body, you know what I mean, he got his L. So we're all three people with the L who understand the native science, the Aboriginal science, but also understand the God body science. And I'm here today to draw the connection for y'all. So for all y'all Moorish dudes and all y'all Egyptian power, I know everything niggas, and all you super Muslim crazy, don't none of this connect together, we about to connect the dots today. Everybody connects the Moorish with the devil version, 711 Tariq Ibn Ziyad. That's later on, y'all. We travel, the Egyptians traveled from East Africa to Europe 2,000 years before the birth of Christ. Word is bond, I proved that in the Blue Bible. That's the tribe that the Imran, right? So when I say that the Gaul, when I said the Gaul come from Princess Mary Aten, daughter of Pharaoh Akhenaton. And dudes get mad saying, "Oh, you call yourself European, you call yourself African." Bro, I'm talking about thousands and thousands of years ago. We traveled back. Because remember, a lot of dudes don't see, if you make it all the way to chapter 11, right? Mecca, where I talk about the camel. I use the camel as the part of the science for us, showing how the camel started on the Mississippi River and traveled over to the Nile River and developed 2 humps on the way around. So, just like Egypt is the area around the north of the Nile River in Africa, settlers named South Illinois Little Egypt, the area around the north of the Mississippi River in America. From here, the camel originated 2 million years ago. It traveled and developed 2 humps on its way to the Nile River. So both Niles, but you see the camel, the camel ain't here now, right? Exactly. So it's the same with them. They went over there long ago. They went over there long ago. And left and came back long ago, way before Tariq Ibn Zayed and all that. Y'all want me to break it down scientifically? Y'all need to get y'all blue Bible, but here go a clip again so y'all can understand.
Cleopatra, the last royal bloodline in Egypt, her daughter, forget talking about her son all day, Little Caesar. Her daughter was left alive and was sent to be the queen of West Africa. Her name is Cleopatra Selene, I believe. And the people she ruled over, Mauritania, the land of the Moors, were considered to be descendants of Goliath. If you take the off the end, the used to describe, what do you have there in Goliath's name? Gala. The giant Gullah guy, giant Gullah. Yeah. So all the Gullah nations I found, you have to go through the woman to figure out the bloodlines.
Yes, sir.
Now the point is, even when you see the Gullah Geechee today, they got Queen Quet, and she don't even got no man. So this matriarchy science has been going on since Cleopatra's daughter, but they just don't talk about the daughter. You know what I mean? Everybody looks at all these dudes that think they're high scientists. You come to find out later on, they only study the devil version. So they only know El is starting with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace be upon him, because they don't know any science before him. They just know what they got right in front. Oh, this is it. But even he admits, but we're going to get to that. So in here, I'm showing how even the ancient Egyptian connection to West Africa and North America with us goes through this Moorish bloodline, because I heard a brother earlier arguing saying, Crip Jesus doesn't know what he's talking about. The Moorish is the female. And I said, no, I knew that because that's why we deal with the Washita and all that, and Empress Califia. See, once again, it was written that the sun will rise in the west. We know that the science of the authority over here was rested on the matriarchy. We're aware of that. Yes, we're aware of that.
And the more
anyone could make a treaty, join a curtain. My people didn't draw no Ninja Turtles. My people didn't sign no deeds with the United States of America. My people haven't sold them anything and haven't made any treaties yet. My first treaty will be to pay my people what you owe them, $35 per acre from 1803 up to when I first filed with the Department of Interior, which will be $80 quadrillion.
She said 80 quadrillion.
That's right. $45 an acre. Now, this is very important before we rush to this. $45 an acre. So I want to propose this to people, what we're talking about, because we kind of fast forwarded. Who even knew we owned land over here? What is she even talking about? So the point I'm making is there's a lot that's missed by us being so sexist. We're not looking at Noble Drew Ali's mother, and we're not looking at, what is this, his cousin, her niece or something? This is like how do you tell me, for all the Moors out there, how was his cousin living around the corner all these years and you didn't see her? Everybody should went and took a picture with her.
Yes, sir. Hey, have you ever heard the breakdown of Moab and the MO representing the mother and the Ab representing the father. Because it made me think about that when you said the matriarchy and the Moorish means the woman, you know, because you know how the brothers say, hey, what's up, Mo? What's up, Mo? It's
I'm not saying that. Me personally, I see it as ish, just like you see in the Jewish. But the brother, it was some YouTube scientist type dude, we'll get into him. I'm gonna play his video. But he was breaking it down. He was like, yeah, Moorish is the empires and the kingdoms that's under the women, you know what I'm saying? And Moor is this or that. I don't know. But still though, I see what you're saying as ancient Kemetic science, because the Mu for the feminine and the Ab, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Abu is father.
Exactly.
And, and then Umi, like Umma, right? Umi is mother, but Umma is like the community or the nation,
Exactly.
So when you're saying it's based off of the mother, I kind of can see that to a degree, I can see that.
Well, I'm just saying these out here because even when he wrote the story where they talk about Queen Khalifa, get your blue Bibles, breaking all the way down, he made her a Muslim at a time when a lot of that probably wasn't going on. You feel what I'm saying? As far as women Islamic rulers. So This goes to show a science that's now. I look back at, even if you go to page 43 of the Blue Bible, this is how we miss out on a lot of the bloodline dealing with us and our royalty. So what a lot of the science of the feds had in connecting ourselves as original people to Morocco has to do with the brother named Idris. You know what I mean? Now, remember in Quran, Idris is the name of Enoch. So this puts us at the Pharaoh before Moses.
Yes,
that's
sir.
a deeper science. That's where y'all got to get y'all Blue Bible. Idris the first of Morocco was Sharif of the direct bloodline of the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him. The Sharif are legally both Hassanid and Fatimid, while culturally Shia. So what the point is, remember, Hassanid or Hassanah is rested on Hassan, which is Fatima's son. Fatimid is rested on Fatima. The point is, remember, the Prophet didn't have a son. So what they did was they made it patriarchal, the Arabs, and rejected her bloodline. But remember, we do it matriarchal anyway. This goes more rejection of the original man's culture. And these were the ones that were calling themselves Mahdi and, crowning themselves Allah in the flesh over there in Baghdad, then later in Cairo. Feel me?
Yes,
the people of Adam used the term Sharif to pose as descendants of the Prophet and enforce laws on us. In their English tongue, the title became Sheriff. Feel me? And that's who we find ourselves in conflict with over the land. So this all still goes back to why, you got a name like Ansar El Muhammad. Because a lot of dudes would be like, why your name ain't, Sleepy Eyes, and, of the Blackfoot, Confederates, shit like that, the TV version.
Right.
So the original woman and her queendom have been erased from his story and our story. Crip Jesus digs deep into the mysteries to reveal the hidden bloodline of the Moabites from Cleopatra VII to the more recent Empress Radiachi Tiara Washita Turner Gostin El Bey. Okay, so that's the description for this one right here. It's called The Last Queen of America. So y'all can check that out, man. It's still up right now. Check it out. Run the numbers up, because if you don't get the numbers up fast enough, I might have to pull it down for a second.
Yeah,
go check that out. I'm gonna leave that one up though, because that's one of the missing keys of what I teach. I'll get Blue Bible. But
keep that up, bro. Keep that up, because it's a lot of sisters running around. They identifying with that term Khalifa. That really it's a title. Like
exactly. That's what I explained.
Right.
That's why I explained that video. That's caliphate.
Yes, sir. The sisters need to get that, because they off into a lot of other things that take them off the course with the Khalifa knowledge. So,
what we gotta do is maybe we could get. They got me banned on Facebook and TikTok and all that. So maybe I can send a link to you we can send it to some of the sisters DMs and stuff. Just get them, just force it on them. You feel me? I'm for sure gonna go on a rampage this weekend. Okay, let me see. I don't got time for that one, so this is what I'll do. Booyah, this is what I wanted to show. I wanted to go back into what we call. Hold on.
You know, when you're a black man in America, you gotta make something out of nothing, baby. You gotta wiggle, you gotta move, you gotta finesse, you gotta tap in. That part. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi, tap in with the lokes. We the black Illuminati, we be posted at Lamert Park, hustling, catching bodies. A dripping OT, thirsty peaches flew to Saudi. Money schemes, my niggas had dreams of riding Bugattis. Now it's 4-finger rings supreme with kings around me. Watch me turn the metaphysical to physical. It's not just lyrical, it's literal. These guns get rid of you, this spiritual. Spit out, let drip off a nigga lip, but get up in you and rip you up like 100 hollow tips. Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammadeen. Had a dream last night on some other shit. Farrakhan and Malcolm X pulled up in the mothership. Talking about UFOs, black kings and queens that was rich as fuck, swimming in pools of gold. But niggas like you don't wanna hear that though. You were descended of one of them snitches or dudes that told the white man about all the fucking Jews and gold. And that's how everybody in the crew got sold. Fucking blabbermouth, I don't like his type. Pull that ratchet out, we tapping in. All these bitch niggas doing is tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi, tap in with the lokes. We the black Illuminati.
So you see that one? Yeah.
Oh, we back at it.
That's that one, yeah. Back at it. In the hood entertainment. You feel me?
Night, man.
That part.
You never know what's gonna bring.
See, I ain't know if it's in the hood music, in the hood clothing. That's where they go. In the hood entertainment. It's in the hood entertainment.
It's everything.
Now, as you see right there, there's a flag from South Carolina, right? Where the Yamasee War was, and where people like me and you. So this is the point, man. People are gonna say, this nigga Crip Jesus is an operative. He's the CIA. He's trying to mix everything in one. That's what they say about me, right? I'm gonna play you the video, right? And the thing is, what they understand is when you meet brothers like ourselves, we've reached that higher level where you see the source,
right?
That everybody else took from. Yeah, you see right here, these are native people, but they are part of the Turkish Empire, of the world empire, what they call the Tartarian Empire, the 1,000 years missing. Man, look at y'all. I ain't want to do this to y'all, but let me do it to y'all, man. If you look at your blue Bible, right here, page 114, it says, from the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, to the year 1555, the original people experienced 1,000 years of peace, as was written in the book of Revelations, chapter 20. The angel sent by Allah with the key is the vocal range, to free us was Bilal ibn Rabah when he did that call to prayer. So that's what kicked off the 1,000 years when he did that, from the birth of Prophet Muhammad. Now, the point is, during that time, we had empires and kingdoms all around the world that all were a part of this one world empire. We don't want to believe that we had a one world government. We did this already before. You feel me? So when you see brothers with names like ours, Ansar El Muhammad, ask yourself why the last leader of the Cherokee was named Ramadan ibn Wati, and his son was named Saladin ibn Wati. This is our culture coming from the east to the west. Now, right here in the Moorish literature, these are quotes written from the prophet himself for those that's into the Moorish science stuff. This is number 19, page 28. It says, to the early representatives of this faith, the world's debt is incalculably great, for it was they who transmitted the treasures of Greek literature from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance. They who originated the graceful forms of which the Taj Mahal and the Alhambra are the most famous examples. It was they who contributed to the sciences of algebra and chemistry, astronomy, and medicine. They who dotted the Saracen Empire with universities and who built at Baghdad and Cairo, the most renowned universities of the world. During those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, when the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities save those that were theological, causing the talent that reproduces to supplant the geniuses that creates. Mohammedans did all in their power to encourage and stimulate research in every branch of human inquiry. Come on, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's what that flag represents. The high sciences that we never stopped being. While they were actually suppressing the sciences. Who were they? The ones under the Christian cross. These symbols have less to do with who you're praying to and more to do with the culture and civilizations that we fall under. Now,
yes.
Go ahead, guys.
Why did you say 1555, from the birth of Prophet Muhammad to 1555? What's the significance of that date?
Well, for one, that's the date that was revealed to me in the Message to the Black Man. And when I did my research, it's the date that's revealed to me in the English lesson C1 when it says 379 years ago, going back from 1934, it takes you back to 1555. And okay. I know in the Nation Guys of Earth, we're taught that to see that as when Steve Hawkins, pardon himself. John Hawkins got the boat named Jesus. Well, the point is, he was commissioned the boat by Queen Elizabeth, and a lot of people want to see it as we were these, these weak beings that were just ran up on and took over. And really, what happened was he went into Africa with a slick scheme to actually sit there and learn the languages and talk to them about work in other places and make promises to them and push the religion on them. And even some people who were selling certain groups of their enemies, he captured them afterwards. Like maybe you come selling your enemy and then they'll take you down. This is when the trickery came in. And they were already had the Indian slave trade going on. So they were also selling people and trading them. You feel me? So 1555, we were taught to see that as when that began. For me also, I found out that that's when the Russians became the rise, because that's when Peter the Terrible, I think his name is, the third, he turned against a Mongol leader that was named Ahmad Khan. I find that interesting because that proves that the Mongols had already converted to Islam by then. So Europe was actually fully surrounded by Moors of the Asiatic type of Mongols and from the south, coming from the Asiatic type of Africa. And they were locked in for 1,000 years, literally, you know what I mean? So the Prophet Muhammad is born in 570. So 1555, that's 1,000 years later, exactly, you know what I mean? This is what Elijah Muhammad says in the Message of the Black Man. That's where I got it from.
That's interesting because the messenger speaks on that. And then he says that we should start our count from that time. Because, they said they started slavery in the year 1619. And from 1619 to 1555 was 64 years. And,
yes, sir.
The Queen Elizabeth at that time had a 100-year plan to break us, meaning to break us into a slave. So they didn't necessarily have the person that they called Negro until 1619. It took them 64 years out of that 100-year plan to break us. And that was the first part of the 400 years, that first 100 years. Then the next part of that 100 years is about us not reading. They didn't want us to read nothing, right? And then that took us, but that was 1555, that was 1655 up to 1755. No reading for the so-called American Negro. Then the next 100 years was the ones that they allowed to read, but those ones that they deemed were fully fledged, engulfed into the belief system of the white God they presented to us at that time. So this is when they started to get off into letting some of our people become preachers, and they started to getting off into, when you get into the late 1800s, the fraternities and sororities. You know, they started to make their gatekeepers. So if we go 400 years, from 1555, we land in 1955. And this is when Martin Luther King steps on the scene, right? Civil rights movement. Why? Because all of our people was already running our own governments in our own towns. We had the knowledge of who we were. Because you can go back into the 1920s and ask all those blues singers. They knew that they was tribal, that they was Indian. You know, like when Mos Def played Chuck Berry, you know, all the blues and all them brothers knew. So when Martin Luther King was pushing his line, he was really pushing the line on the Christian believing black folks who had that fear in them still. Let's integrate. Let's do this. But you see, Malcolm was on the scene like, nah, we need to keep running our own stuff. So they say that in the Bible, there's a 400-year curse about Abraham's seed, right?
Yeah.
And it says that after that, we will come up out of it with great substance. But when you go further into the Bible, you'll see that when it was time for us to come up out of it with great substance, which was the time of 1955, nobody wanted to choose Malcolm X. I mean, we did in heart, like, yeah, we believe you, we want you, but it was too much fear. So our people followed Martin Luther King. And then in the Bible, it says, that God called us cowards. He said, y'all gonna wander in the wilderness for 40 years. So then if we go from 1955, 40 years from that point, is 1995. So 1995, we get to what? That was the biggest event in Black history. That's the Million Man March.
Million Man March.
Okay, so what were we saying there? We supposed to come one government, one mentality, at atonement, right? And the minister at that time was talking about the atone, which was a 440 something. He was getting off into the science of it, but that was not really what we supposed to pay attention to at that time. The very next year, Tupac, who had the ears of everybody at that time, said he was going to run for president. He said, God willing, if I'm alive, in 4 years, we will have our own political party. And I'm gathering up all you lost tribe motherfuckers. Remember he said that?
Yeah.
And he started renaming everybody, him, Machiavelli, everybody, you know, and then he named one brother in there, in the Outlaws, he named him Noble Drew Ali. But he didn't carry the name. Young Noble didn't carry the name. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else carried, you know, Mussolini, Gaddafi, everybody ran with their names except for Young Noble. Tupac gets killed. 4 years later, what happens? America gets took to court at the World Conference Against Racism in Durban, South Africa. They get found guilty. Them, Ghana, some other tribes in Nigeria, right? Some of the tribes that was helping them capture us, right? The ones that was in the slave trade, not the ones that was still already here. But so when Bush and Colin Powell was at that hearing, they walked out and they went back to America like, nah, because they said something about how the language was about the Zionists in there and how the Jews was involved in our slave trade. Yeah. They went back and then they were held guilty in absentia. However, when Bush came back, the whole World Trade Center stuff happened in 2001, you know, and then it was a war against Islam, really war against Islam, though he said it was terrorism, right? Then he flipped it, since we coming back full circle. they flipped the whole terrorist thing onto the black gangs of America, calling them domestic terrorists.
Exactly.
You know, so this whole scenario that took place, did we become a nation at that time? Who was it at that time, at the end of that 440 years, make us or do the necessary things for us to become our own government? And then you got to look at it like, see, when ARNA was started, we got the recognition in 2006 by Condoleezza Rice. However, the founder of ARNA, one of the principal founders, Dr. Ali, everybody call him Dr. Ali. He said he was in Mexico in 1996. He said he did all of this study 10 years prior to getting the recognition. So here we are, 440 years. Yeah, we did, because the brother was down there. He got the name Namataga there. He got the name Amaru there. You see what I'm saying? And he got the same name as Tupac.
Exactly.
Tupac Amaru Shakur.
Yep.
So I would say that the prophecy is correct, but everybody ain't got their eyes on the prophecy correct. Their interpretation of it is off. The 440 years was correct, 1555, 1955 to 1995, and to right now who we are.
Okay, so I mean, we getting so deep into the Islam. So what I'm saying is, look, during that time, right? Now, this what I noticed. I always look at 1,000 this, 1,000 that. I never hear people talk about the 1,000 this or the 1,000 that. They like the 15, 14. So what I realized was between 5 whatever and 15 whatever is 1,000 years. What's back in the middle? The year 1,000, right? Now, in the year 1,000, you got this dude named Caliph Al-Hakim. Now, we just got Egypt back from the Romans. We done ran them out, but we got all these like I was talking about how the Ishmaelites were enslaved everybody. So you got the Saracens there too. Now the point I'm making is this brother Caliph Al-Hakim was deemed Allah in the flesh, right? The point I'm saying is the God bodyism. They love to act like we just made that up, like we just some lost black souls that's desperate for identity and we just the gods now. We just went crazy. They don't understand that this goes back ancient. This is the only thing for all the brothers out there that just, I like Egypt and I like the Bible and I like Jesus and I'm God body with this is real. You're not crazy. You're attracted to all the others. What you feel crazy because each group stole your tradition and made a piece of it. So you got the Moors over here with a piece of it. You got the the 5% over here with a piece of it. You got the Nation of Islam over here with a piece of it. Talking about the Ummah and Islam. You got you got Ansar, but it's all one.
Yes,
as the Wallace Moore came and brought it to us, the true names, how to fall it back. So come to the Blue Bible.
Yes, sir.
And
that's how you know who God is. God will bring everything together. The devil separates and breaks everything up into pieces and everything. And if you look at the word, devil come from the word diabolos. It means to separate. The opposite of the word diabolos in the Latin is symbolos or symbol. A symbol brings it says one thing in one symbol. And that's what God is. We bring it all together. We dispel all the confusion.
The tribe of Al-Jabbar. So look, page 47, Culture God, right? In the Blue Bible. In Jerusalem, the knights became drunk with power. To challenge the Moors, they taught that the pentagram was the symbol of the devil, that the prophet Jesus was a deity, and that his body belonged to the church. In response, General Saladin was sent to squash their rebellion and take Jerusalem back. His mission was complete with the signing of the Treaty of Jaffa. He was sent by the Fatimid. So he was sent by the caliphate that was under the prophet's daughter. Feel me? They don't like to talk about this, is why you don't really hear about it. But these are some of the most famous rulers. These are the ones when you get all that Moroccan architecture and dress. They were in Baghdad, and they came over to Cairo. They were taking Jerusalem back.
Yes, sir.
But hold on. See, the Blue Bible is not written in order. It's written in science. 200 years before that. It says 200 years before Saladin, the Lord Abu Mansur al-Hakim. Now hold on. That's you know like Abu Mansur. So you Al Mansur and Abu.
That's the father.
So he got the name
Mansur. Mansur is Ansar.
He's a great father.
Yeah.
So look, Abu Mansur al-Hakim, the wise, be Amir Allah, the voice of Allah, and that Allah is his last name. He ordered the infamous destruction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. In 1017, he was deemed Allah in the flesh by Imam ad-Darazi. At the same time, he was Lord of the throne of Egypt, which made him the Lord of lords of the lands. In the eyes of the Fatimid, Jerusalem belonged to Egypt. Al-Hakim was culturally Ishmaeli and the father of the Druze religion that is still today. His grandparents built Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Egypt. He built Dar al-Ilm, the House of Knowledge in Cairo, Egypt. This is the stuff that the stuff that the Pharaoh's mentioning. The prophet be mentioning. Noble Drali, come to the Blue Bible. We're gonna give full breakdown. You can go Google this stuff. Hold on. Watch this.
Right here in the Blue Bible. Make sure y'all get y'all copy. Go to cripjesus.com. Make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe, y'all. In 1017, he, talking about Al-Hakim, y'all, was deemed Allah in the flesh by Imam ad-Darazi.
This was more like a Islamic order, right? Where you would say, so in the general Muslim kingdoms would probably not be recognizing him as Allah in the flesh. So just understanding where that's coming from, because when you're dealing with the Ishmaelis, you're dealing with a lot of their people came to power because of their ability to perform a lot of assassinations.
Come on. It's sounding more and more like us. So you see that culture of original people of North America that's under that type of lineage right here amongst the Yamasee, because I can go all the way back to the Sir Francis Drake. He was a slaver with a ship that was said to have dropped off a bunch of it's tripping right now, man. You don't want to show it. He said that dropped off a bunch of Turks. He dropped off a bunch of Turks right there in North Carolina, way back in the 1500s. So this has been going on, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And so in the Yamasee War is not until 1715. You feel me? So even as much as 100 years later, after the first 20 and all that, it was still a bunch of us, you know, practicing Islam and fighting against them. Let me see if I can get this. Their history, I can't get to stay still no more. I think I flipped it too much. Their history states in the South Carolina state, hold on. Slave code was introduced around the time of the Civil War, that they were given the misnomers. I don't even got to read it, y'all. Basically, it's talking about how in the time after the Civil War, the government refused to recognize them. They were given them misnomers, you know, Negro, Black, colored, all that. But they were really the Yamasee, and there were many tribes like the Creek, the Muskegee, the Seminoles, the Cherokee. All of them descended from these people that was having these wars right here. They are Muslim. They are Native. They are Aboriginal, and they into the God-body-ism. Tell them Crip Jesus told you.
Oh my God, it's so cozy.
So it says right here that part of their history is the Yamasee War of 1715 that they described as history's bloodiest war. They tell the story of unfair trade practices and land encroachments by European settlers that violated a law that forced them into war. At least 400 South Carolina settlers died when the war started, and more would ultimately perish by the late 1800s. History claims that more than 15,000 Yamasee Indians in support from other Indians in the region stormed the state, almost destroying the European colony. From the war, many new tribal designations were formed. The Yamasee claim that more commonly known groups like the Seminole are descendants of the Yamasee. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
So, you got something to say, guy?
No, sir.
So this is just proof of what I'm saying, that there is no contradiction, you know, how we rock it. And they don't have a monopoly on the word L like they would have you believe, like this brother. Now mute your mic, man, because this brother right here is going crazy. I gotta let you hear this before we get up out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what the Moors want to do now. Well, this is a computer dude. The Moors love me, so let me. This guy.
You can see him right here with Crip Mac.
Can you hear him?
Okay, no jumper. I don't think they'll hate. I don't think they'll do.
Yes, sir.
Lots of the Blue Gods. Allah visits UK Museum. The reason why I put you in a lineup instead of your own video, Allah School, and then you got the little community post with brother Umar Bey up out of Illinois, who's my Grand Sheik. He can't deny it. I still got his books. Grand Sheik King Umar Bey knows me. Look, Circle 7. Look, y'all. Moorish, Kufi's umbrellas and other things. Visit Crip Jesus. He's selling our stuff. Is he a Moorish American? Yes. That's one thing I can't tell him he's not. But the instructions, this is the government. This is when a Moor is putting you in harm, when the Moor is blatantly disrespecting the Constitution and laws and bylaws, who's going to punish him? Who's going to punish them? That is the triune law. When we look into the Quran, we find out this is why. Look, come on, man, I'm just too good at this. The triune law, the trifecta, right? Who you descend from, the Creator.
God, he said he want to punish me. You heard that? You heard that guy? Huh?
Yes, sir.
He said, who gonna punish him?
How you gonna punish yourself? I mean, you can discipline yourself. You know, triune Allah who?
Okay, now I see. Okay, Crip Jesus. My name is Jesus. Okay, so there's science behind these words. I can't just tell him he can't use Jesus. He can't use these words. I can't police him. Some of these words have meaning. Do you understand what I'm saying? All these words. Crip mean community response and progress. So I can't overjudge the man. I can't overjudge the man. Because, okay, but here's the problem. Crip is a federally recognized gang and a terrorist organization, y'all. I'm going to pull it up. It's a terrorist organization, and I don't want them to use the excuse of where he's PNF. This is debatable. Okay, he's PNF, so let's size up PNF with the Crip gang. We're going to do that and explain it. You understand me? Let's look it up. So this is a problem because he has we own this, and he's selling it, and the feds is thinking we're connected with him.
PNF is people and folks, but that ain't no, like, I don't know. I guess he made it up himself. He trying to join everybody together.
Oh, I know what that is. Okay.
Peoples and folks. You know what I'm saying? The fives and the sixes.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
This is a face-off. This is very serious, critical justice matter. And before I go in, I want to go in on the triune Allah. This is why I'm bringing up the triune Allah. If you go into the Circle 7, let me show y'all, because this is the weekend. This is prophetic. This is divine right here, because this is about us in the spirit. So it's just not about information. It's about us, man. The circle seven. And the circle seven is the triune Allah, where we learn about the triune Allah. And what is that? Might, thought, and love. That is the three attributes of triune Allah. And it has 7 eyes called the Elohim. This is how I know Anahu Ki El don't know what he's talking about. Anahu Ki El say he's the El because he's the Elohim. Anahu Ki El don't know in the Holy Koran that the Elohim is the 7 eyes of triune Allah, who is what we are, spirit man. See this.
God, why he ain't on the screen with his book? Why he over here trying to Google the book? He trying to Google the book, God. Why he go screen? Nah, nigga, you gotta get off that YouTube, brother. Come on down. Don't be talking that you can't show and prove down. Come on down.
Yes.
This is how we know he don't read the Quran, so you cannot be quoting Noble Drali and the Hanukiel. You are a Hanukiel because you're the Elohim, which is a device of Allah. We are saying we are directly of Allah. I came for his culture, but Islam, hold on, something going on. Islamism, as we act out as Islamism, is a peculiar, precise overstanding. Is Islam as we know it as Muslim is not funning around causing confusion. It's direct understanding of thine single eye and directory of it. You understand what I'm saying? If the prophet said don't flash your card in front of Europeans, it's for your salvation, that means be inconspicuous. So this is stuff we've been putting out. Now, Crip Jesus don't know I'm the one who put all this out. And there's some cold-blooded Moors out here who got some cold stuff, like Canaan Land Moors. Them brothers is cold. But it's a lot of stuff about the Confederacy and the buildings that I get credit for. Now, Crip Jesus say he got the Universal Life Church Ministries, so we know he's a Christian mindset, because you can't take a certificate for granted from nowhere. I'm saying, but his mindset is in those institutions and thinking that is deliverance to awareness. No, we are the savants of YouTube, and we understand the algorithm better than anybody. Us shadow ban people, we are shadow ban. We understand what to say and what not to say on YouTube. We are the savants of YouTube. We are the Black Order. We don't call ourselves black, but the Black Order is Thanos. We are the ultraviolet light, the all-seeing eye. We are the real deal, the real Ra's elites. We was given that name. It's Ra's elites. Nobody has the right names. Nobody has the right delivery and information like I do. No one is most hated like I am for a reason. That's how we judge people, my guy. We don't judge people by how many views we get. We judge people by how many views they don't get. Okay, why is this person not getting no views? Oh, look what they teach. Amazing. Why is this person getting all these views? Look what he teach. Nonsense. Now, look at the guy. He has the gold teeth. We can't knock him. He has his culture. It will be downright bogus to judge someone. You understand what I'm saying? Because he has his measure. He's going to be touching people. And we know a lot of this signs and symbol goes back to Mary and her son, Madonna and her child. So we know the symbolism behind Yahshua, and we know about the 12 apostles, the sun, and the 12 planes. We know about some of this science, but is he just mocking people? And I say no, because I heard him speak before. I heard him go in on a lot of information, so he's knowledgeable to a degree of repeating from who taught him versus real field research like us. Like, we really been in the field and we know things versus his prison sentence and his instructions he got from others, because he done too much time to been in the field like us. Like, we've been in the field the last 10 years going to different states. You understand me? So he don't know. He just got a feeling. And this is where more science come in at, because we deliver you from feeling. We're not going to let you feel around here. You're going to know. We don't allow people with their feelings to lead. And that's what more science specialty is. is to get you out your lower self so you can know thyself. So Crip Jesus is a character, and he's trying to go mainstream. So let's get his video out. Let's get his video. Let's get a feel for the guy. Here it is right here. We're going to let him get his little 2 minutes. We're going to play him in a Crip Mac interview. And then I'm going to judge him from there. And we're going to move on and drop the link. But let's get
Yes, sir. So
this is what we deal with, and this is what we ain't got to go in on the brother. I just want to let y'all know. Don't fall for the trickery, y'all. We really out here trying to get y'all to join up. Y'all can pull up to these addresses that we talk about. Y'all can pull up to these events we talk about. Y'all can see us outside and present and zigging all through the country. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? And I invite anybody to contact him and have him contact me. And you know what I mean? And for all y'all to holler at the mayor and get in tune with Sun Village and see how real it is. You feel me? Let them know where they can find you or whatever else. And for those that think I teach nonsense, here goes a picture of Sequoia, who wrote the language for the Cherokees. There goes Ramadan Ibn Wati, the last Islamic leader of the Cherokee Nation, the Muslim, and his son was named Saladin Ibn Wati. And go ahead and watch the rest of the videos and let them know where they can find you, God.
yes, sir. So sunvillagecalifornia.org, not sunvillagecalifornia.com. That's something else. .org, sunvillagecalifornia.org, and you can just Google Sun Village, and the Google like Sun Village Tribal Territory or something like that. You'll get more information. Other than that, you know, we every Monday. We have a public meeting. You'll get it on the website. County of Los Angeles is there, and other representatives from the county. And then not every Monday, but every fourth Monday of the month, we have that meeting. And every fourth Sunday of the month, we have another public meeting that's dealing with strictly tribal things. Anything dealing with the documentation, the moves we're gonna make, you know, announcements like that. So yeah, all of that can be found. Peace, God. We still on.
Go ahead, finish out, God. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. No, that was it.
No, you said all that can be found where?
sunvillagecalifornia.org.
Right. Peace to God. Yeah.
Peace.
Oh my God, it's so cozy.